Most people don't stay in jobs for a long time because they love them. They stay because the fear of starting something new is too overwhelming. But starting over can be the most powerful experience of your life, because every time that you're uncomfortable, you will continue to expand and grow and learn. So when I was in high school, I don't know what it was, but I wanted to become a makeup artist. And I knew I didn't want to go to college. I was like very gung-ho on not going to a traditional school. It wasn't going to happen. I was like, I found this makeup school in Los Angeles. They also have a New York location. I started dating a guy that I actually worked in the Apple store in Annapolis Mall as an 18-year-old. It was horrible. I mean, he was cheating on me, he was lying to me, he was putting me down. He didn't believe in my dream to become a makeup artist at all. He was like, "You really think you're gonna do that?" It was very stereotypical of a boyfriend that doesn't believe in their partner and thinks their dreams are too big. We lived in Maryland together, and then we decided, let's move to New York City. We moved to New York with a couple other guys that worked at the Apple store with us. So I lived with 3 dudes in a 3-bedroom apartment. I mean, this apartment could not have been bigger than 500 square feet. It was the most toxic relationship ever, if I didn't already say that. He would take Adderall all day, and then to come down, he would take Ativan and drink like a 5th of alcohol. But I did start going to the same makeup school that was in LA. They had a New York location. So I would go from Brooklyn to Soho like 5 days a week. It was 8 hours a day. And I also worked at the Apple store part-time, like at nighttime. Even though I was in this toxic relationship, I was just living the dream. As a 19-year-old, I wasn't even 21 yet, going into Soho every day, walking down the cobblestone streets, and I was like, oh, I'm here. I did this, and I started making friends. Ultimately, I got out of that relationship, and now I'm trying not to cry while I say this, but now I'm in such a supportive, loving relationship. 15 years later, I'm 35 now, and I just have to say to anyone that's in a relationship and your partner doesn't 150% support you and believe in your dreams and goals, you need to leave them. The behavior that I put up with because I didn't really know that I was worth more at the time. Unthinkable now. I did have to go through that, and that was my journey, and that was my experience. And here we are now. I went to makeup designery in Soho. When I graduated from that school, it was only 6 months long, started working at the Mac store. I really learned like how to do makeup on everybody at the Mac store when I worked there. All ages, all skin types, all races, just everyone. While I was there, I may have stole a few clients, and then I started doing like in-home makeup. After that, I started working at the NARS store on Bleecker Street, also iconic. I don't even know if it's still there. You know, you're like dealing with rich business women. So I started like gaining my clientele, and I started going to people's houses and doing their makeup. And then I also would wind up getting a job with an agency that specifically did in-home makeup, and that's where I started doing makeup for like my biggest celebrity, probably my biggest celebrity I've ever worked with, and the first celebrity I've ever worked with was Paris Hilton. And I wound up doing Nikki Hilton all the time, her sister. It was a time to be alive. We were working New York Fashion Week. I was 23, 24 years old, like meeting all these celebrities, doing the coolest gigs, and it was truly a dream come true. I continued to be a makeup artist for, it would be about 13 years. I did it full-time in New York, and then I wound up moving to LA. But as I got further and further into this career, I had friends that were also obviously makeup artists and hairstylists, and I saw them taking it more seriously than I was. They were working longer hours, and they were just putting in more work than I was to really like get to that next level. And I think that's when I realized I just wasn't willing to do that, because ultimately it is a really physically demanding job. And you also have to be stuck in a city. I really went through a period of, I want to say like 2 to 3 years, where I felt really lost and I had no idea what was next. Like, I was very confused and I didn't know what the future was going to hold. This is also when I really started like hiking and camping more and just like taking a lot of road trips, and I just wanted to be on the road all the time. I had always been into content, but I never treated it like a job. But being on set as a makeup artist, like I really learned how production works and how all the systems work that come together to make an image beautiful. So I started creating content and like taking photos and directing shoots for some of my friends' companies and brands, and like honestly any opportunity that I could get. And a lot of it was free work. A lot of it I didn't get paid for, or I got paid very little for. Then it hit me. Oh, like I can really do this. I can become a full-time content creator. I was determined. It hasn't unfolded exactly in the ideal world, but it has unfolded. And I truly believe that we're all in our journey and we're all on our path, and I need to accumulate all these skills in order to get where I want to be. So I started creating UGC content, which is when you create ads for companies that they use, and I don't post it on my social media. It's usually for them to post on their social media. And I wound up getting a full-time job as a content creator for an agency that works with tons of different brands. So every day they'll send me, you're creating an ad for this brand, you're doing voiceover, you're writing a script or copy. That job propelled me into creative strategy. And creative strategy is specifically for paid ads, which is the strategy behind creating these paid ads. And while this is all going on, I'm working on boosting my social media, my personal social media, which I'm sure is why you are here. And you know what? About like 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, I really started honing in on the child-free community and the child-free lifestyle, because there's nothing more me than not wanting kids. It's been the way I've been since I was a little girl. I've never felt right just creating content about surface level topics. Like I used to create more travel content that was just like, here's how you do X, Y, and Z, but it had no level of personal touch to it. It was really just like, here's information, but like, what's the point of doing that when there's so many people already doing that? And I think we're just being bombarded and assaulted with content left and right that I want to be my absolute self, and I want to pull in people that want to be part of my community that I would actually be friends with in real life. And I think that's what's finally starting to happen. I mean, monetizing it is a whole nother thing, but even if I'm still creating content for other brands, that allows me the flexibility to, one, travel almost as much as I want and live my own schedule and work from home and not have to be in an office or be in a specific city. Like that was my main goal. So I feel like I've really reached that part one of the journey. Honestly, a big reason of why I'm starting YouTube is not only to like get deeper with an audience, but Instagram and TikTok and short form content sucks for creators. It's really hard to monetize anything, and I don't want to work for other brands anymore. I want to be my own creator. While the swap from makeup artist to creator was slightly organic, just because of everything that I've learned and all the skills I've picked up over the years, it was also very intentional. I had to make the decision that I wanted to try something new. And you can't really just like dip a toe in, because if you're not fully giving yourself over to that goal, it's not going to work out. The thing that I always come back to is, if other people can do it, why can't I? Nobody has anything else that I do not have. And every career path is going to be totally different. But I do think the one thing they have in common is you have to make that intentional choice that this is what I'm doing. I believe that I can do it, and I will accumulate the skills to get there. I have to accept that I might not be great at it at the beginning. And not only will you might not be great at it, you probably will not be great at it, because most people are not good at things at the beginning. So you have to give yourself grace. You have to accept that other people that are successful have most likely put in the work. And if they haven't, you also don't know their stories. Comparison is the thief of joy. We've heard it 1 million times. So I'm really proud of how far I've come. And I really can't wait to see what the future holds for you and for me and literally everyone, because life is fucking fantastic and magical and beautiful, and the possibilities are endless. Starting over is one of the most exciting things that you could do.